It's 3 a.m. The rest of the world is completely beautifully silent, but your eyes? Wide open. Your heart's maybe racing just a little bit, and out of nowhere, your mind starts furiously cycling through tomorrow's to-do list. You are overwhelmingly, frustratingly awake. Welcome to this explainer. If you've ever dealt with this middle-of-the-night chaos, you know exactly how exhausting it really is.
Okay, so let's dive right into this. You jolt awake in what's supposed to be this peaceful, pitch-black room, right? But instead, your attention gets instantly hijacked by that glowing alarm clock that feels like it's practically mocking you. The sheets are all tangled, the room suddenly feels way too stuffy, and this wave of tense anxiety just washes right over you. And then, you do the worst thing possible. You desperately try to force yourself back to sleep, which obviously just makes you more awake.
Which brings us to the big question we're tackling today. Why does your brain actively choose to jolt you awake at the exact same time, like almost right on the dot at 3 a.m. night after night? It feels so personal, almost like your own mind has decided to just work against you. But what if I told you this isn't a personal failing at all? It's actually a super fascinating cascade of biological science and sleep architecture. Just to put your frustration into perspective for a second, check this out. Over 35% of adults go through this middle-of-the-night awakening 3 or more nights a week. 35%. That means literally more than 1 in 3 people you know are lying awake in the dark just like you. You are absolutely not alone in this. It's a widespread biological glitch, not just some weird quirk of your own brain. So let's break down exactly what's happening under the hood when the clock strikes 3. Section 1. Inside the awakened brain. So, moving from the sheer frustration of the bedroom to the actual biology of your mind, these wake-ups are absolutely not random. They're driven by this highly specific intersection of how your sleep is structured and your body's natural hormone cycles. Imagine a golden glowing surge rising right from the center of the brain. That represents cortisol, usually known as the stress hormone. Well, your body naturally releases a surge of this stuff between 2 and 3 a.m. It's totally normal, part of your circadian rhythm designed to slowly prep your body to wake up for the morning. But here's the catch. If you're dealing with chronic stress, your baseline cortisol is already running hot. So when this totally natural 3 a.m. surge hits, it basically pushes you right over the edge, jolting you completely awake. And our own sleep structure perfectly sets the trap for that cortisol spike. Think about it like this. In the first half of the night, your brain is tucked under this heavy protective shield of deep sleep. But after about 2 a.m., everything shifts. You start spending way more time in lighter REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. It's more like a thin, fragile blanket compared to that heavy shield. REM is neurologically much closer to being awake. So right at the exact moment your cortisol naturally spikes, your sleep shield is at its absolute thinnest. It's a perfect storm.
And that brings us to a concept that completely changes how we should view those racing nighttime thoughts: rumination. When you wake up and your mind immediately starts spinning out of control, you probably view it as a weakness, right? Or maybe a sign of terrible anxiety. But structurally speaking, this is just your brain attempting to process unresolved emotional material during the absolute stillness of the night. During that lighter REM phase we just talked about, your brain is actually trying to file away information. It's an active biological process. It is definitely not a character flaw.
Section 2. External and lifestyle triggers.
Okay, but our internal biology is really only half the story here. Now that we understand the incredibly fragile state of a lightly sleeping brain that's basically swimming in cortisol, let's look at the external chaos. The first major lifestyle trigger? The dreaded 3 a.m. blood sugar drop. Think about the math for a second. If you eat dinner around 6 p.m. and hit the pillow at 10, by 3 a.m. you've gone 9 solid hours without a single bite of food. Your blood sugar can drop pretty significantly. When your brain senses this low blood sugar emergency, it hits the panic button and triggers your adrenal glands to release, yep, you guessed it, even more cortisol. All just to jumpstart your metabolism and wake you up to go eat. And right alongside blood sugar, we've got a whole lineup of usual suspects. Late spicy meals, those can cause massive core temperature spikes and acid reflux. A glowing alarm clock or, a snoring partner easily pierces right through that fragile REM sleep shield. Even certain common medications like beta blockers or SSRIs can totally fragment your sleep. But honestly, the absolute biggest offender here is alcohol. While a quick nightcap might feel like it helps you pass out initially, it artificially suppresses your early REM sleep, and that leads to a massive, incredibly disruptive rebound later in the night. It practically guarantees you're going to be staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. And then there's your actual environment, 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit. I know, it sounds a little chilly, but that is the scientifically backed optimal temperature for your bedroom. A warm, stuffy room, anything above 67 degrees, is actually one of the most common, yet easily modifiable environmental triggers causing fragmented sleep. If your core body temperature can't drop, your brain is going to really struggle to stay asleep. It's that simple.
Which brings us to our third section, evidence-based sleep solutions.
Take a deep breath with me for a second. We've mapped out the biological traps, we know the lifestyle triggers. Now let's dramatically slow things down and look at the calming, concrete, evidence-based fixes you need to actually reclaim your night. The crucial takeaway here is that our solutions have to directly counteract our biology. First up, the 4-7-8 breathing technique. You inhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 7, and exhale for 8. This directly activates what's called your vagal brake. It physically lowers your heart rate and signals pure safety to your nervous system within minutes. Second, start a brain dump journal. By literally writing down your worries before you get into bed, you externalize all that rumination. You're clearly signaling to your prefrontal cortex that the information is saved, it's secure, and it's safe to let it go for the night. And finally, bedroom optimization. Drop the temperature, get some blackout curtains, and completely remove those external triggers that shatter your lighter sleep.
But let's be real, what actually happens when you do wake up despite doing everything right? You've got to deploy the 20-minute rule. If you've been lying awake for more than 20 minutes, you have to get out of bed. Seriously, get up, go to a dimly lit room and do something incredibly calming. Read a super boring book, try meditating, whatever works. Only return to your bed when your eyelids are literally heavy. This is so vital because it prevents your brain from negatively associating your bed with stress, anxiety, and being awake. Your bed has to remain a sanctuary strictly for sleep.
Section 4. When to seek help.
Now, occasional disruptions are totally normal, but there is a clear line where lifestyle changes just simply aren't going to be enough. If you've optimized your room and your habits, but these annoying wake-ups persist for 2 to 3 weeks, it really is time to see a doctor. You want to pay close attention to a few specific warning signs. For example, waking up gasping or choking, that's a classic indicator of obstructive sleep apnea. Excessive daytime fatigue or noticeable memory issues usually point to chronic insomnia. And if you get these uncomfortable, jumpy, jittery feelings in your legs at night, that's the hallmark of restless leg syndrome. These are actual underlying health conditions that require clinical treatment, not just a cooler bedroom. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to take a look at this quote. The worst thing you can do is stress about not sleeping. When that clock flashes 3 a.m. and you can literally feel the cortisol pumping through your veins, remember the science. Your body is just doing what bodies do. Acknowledge the wake up, let go of that intense pressure to instantly fall back asleep, and trust that with the right tools, rest is going to return. I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Knowledge is really only powerful if you actually apply it. So look around your sleep environment today. Think about your evening routine. What is the single calming change you're going to make in your bedroom tonight to tell your brain that it's finally safe to sleep? Start right there and take back your night.